Hello and welcome to episode 23 of the SBP Podcast, the voice of mobile film. I'm your host, Susie Botello. Hey, we're going back to Wellington, New Zealand to speak with our friend Francesca Jago from Get Ahead Media. She's got some new stuff to share. We think you're going to find it useful. And of course, before we go there, I wanted to share a few things with you. For example, a big announcement. One of our guests, a couple episodes ago, Jason Van Genderen from Film Breaker, is going to be at the film festival on Sunday, representing the world of mobile filmmakers through his movement, Film Breaker. He'll be giving a keynote speech on that. Another announcement to make is that we are getting really close to April 28th and 29th. So you'll want to go and get your tickets. You can always go to our website, www.internationalmobilefilmfestival.com. And there will be plenty links in there for you to purchase those tickets before we run out. Space is limited. This is an all-ages film festival. And just make sure that you bring your smartphones. All right, without further ado, let's go talk to Francesca in New Zealand. Hey, Francesca, how are you?
I'm good. It's great to be back.
How's the weather over there in Wellington right now?
Oh, ridiculous. It's terrible. It's rainy and it's windy and it's cold and it blows.
You know, speaking of blowing, the wind.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, it's actually pretty disgusting over here in the U.S. too. Washington, D.C. is freezing. And I'm hearing some little trickles of water outside tonight because we're starting to get some rain here in San Diego, believe it or not.
Oh.
But we do want the rain to be gone by April, the end of April for our film festival.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So go ahead and drain the clouds now. Make sure everything's out.
Yep.
The clouds, doesn't that kind of rhyme with cows? Draining the cows. And
cows? Oh, kind of. You could make it
draining
rhyme.
Draining the cow's milk.
Yes, you could make it rhyme.
So it is night. It's not even Friday yet. It's Thursday. But you're in the future. It's Friday night.
I am. It's Friday night for me, yeah.
Friday.
Yeah,
well, is
night.
It night? It's really?
It's 6:15 p.m. I would count that as night. It's evening.
Yeah. Awesome. So we can both see stars.
Not quite. Mine got too much fog.
Yeah, I don't even think I want to look up right now with the rain. So for our listeners, we spoke with Francesca Jago. She's the founder of Get Ahead Media in Wellington, and she was back. Actually, I haven't spoken to you for about 10 episodes.
Wow. So how many weeks is that? Like 2 months?
That's
no. Something like that?
Yeah,
3
something
months?
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it was like January 13th.
Oh,
we spoke.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's, just so you know, guys, that's pretty awesome because I didn't write that down on my notes. So that just went straight through. So if somebody checks, it's like, oh my God.
That could be.
It was episode 13, just for everyone to know.
Yep.
And
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. We just had, the Irish, St. Patrick's Day, the lucky day. I smashed my toe, actually, that morning.
Oh, that sounds very unlucky.
Yeah, I was doing a podcast with our brand ambassador, Erin Nabuz. And that morning I was, doing stuff in the kitchen, and I dropped this 5-pound jar of coconut oil on my toe. And
yeah, that'll do it.
at first you don't really feel it. It just kind of burns for a while. But yeah, it was black and blue later.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Jeez.
It was pretty sore, but I didn't break it. So anyway, that's the kind of luck I had on St. Patrick's Day.
Yes. I didn't do anything.
You didn't do
Nothing
anything?
whatsoever. No, I was too busy. Too busy working. I didn't even realize it happened.
Oh. Well, it would have been the next day for you there, right? So.
Yes, yeah, true.
So no dropping coconut oil on your toes, guys.
No, thankfully. Yeah, don't do that, guys.
All right. So there you go. That's our podcast. Good advice.
Yeah, and we're done. See you later. No.
So her company, what Francesca's specialty is showing people how to, or teaching people, instructing people on video production, because that's your specialty. You've worked on films and you work on video productions for your clients. And years ago, she found out how easy and how much less effort or effortless it is to use your phone. Yep. So you shared a lot of tips on that episode 13. For those of you who want to listen to that, you'll get a lot out of that, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Because you spoke about doing live videos and all kinds of things for social media. But we right now what we wanted to do was to talk about these workshops that you've been having, and you've got a wait list also on your website for people to sign up on. So I'm just going to hand this to you now and let you explain a little bit about where you are right now and how people can benefit from Get Ahead Media.
Okay, sure. Yeah, just sloping shoulders there, just pass the buck.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically where I'm at right now is, from the last podcast, I was, telling you all about my wait list, because I do an online course, which I've had to delay the launch of, which is actually probably useful for everyone listening. But that online course is literally designed, and I'm going to give you some tips to get you started, but some literally designed to take you from A to Z in making videos for your business entirely using your phones. So it's basically what kind of videos to make for your business, through planning the right videos so that you achieve the right purpose, the right result, filming and editing using just your phone, and then obviously using social media to get your video out into your audience.
What kind of businesses are good? Is this good for specifically? Okay, just to give a rundown.
Yeah, no, for sure. So it's absolutely designed for the solopreneur or kind of really micro small businesses. And the reason that is I myself am a solopreneur, and I started out I'm a filmmaker by trade, but when I started making smartphone videos for my business, I had to figure out how to do it really quickly but really effectively, because being a solopreneur means you do everything. You do your website, often you do your accounting, you've got a family to take care of, and, run the business and make money. So it's targeted. It's basically how I am managing to pump out content whilst also, living a life using smartphone videos. So that's why it's designed for that solopreneur or that micro business owner who's trying to do everything themselves, but it's just not sure how to go about it.
And the reason why most people try to do all those things themselves is because, $20,000 for someone else to make your video and share your story is kind of like out of the question, right?
Oh, absolutely. So I had someone come to me the other day and say, what do you charge for your course, or what do you charge if you were to make a video for me? Because they had been quoted by a company. It was $15,000 for them to make a 1-minute video every month for 12 months.
Wow.
And that's, it's not a bad deal, but most solopreneurs aren't going to drop $15,000. They don't even have $15,000 in their bank account to drop on videos. So, yeah.
Yeah, and there is a reason for that. I mean, there's a lot of, for video production, especially when they're shooting for corporations and things like that, they expect, the high-end gear, the high-end, like commercials. Like we've all seen local commercials, for car sales or something like that. But then you go and you see, like a big brand, or there's a huge difference in that. But for most businesses, exactly, that's, and they have to maintain their equipment and insurance and all that. Where How much does it take to maintain a phone? Really not that much.
No, I mean, you upgrade it every, 2 to 3 years. Some
Right.
people a bit longer, and it's actually a really good investment, because if you are making videos and using that phone for business, you're really not spending that much money at all on a tool that does everything.
Yeah, and if you have a company, you can also get a used phone, with a decent
Yeah,
camera,
yeah, true, true,
you
true,
know.
yeah. Yeah.
So then I cut you off to tell you what kind of customers you want, but go ahead and talk a little about these workshops that you're doing.
Okay, so I'm running it's actually currently in Wellington base, but the fun thing is I'm going to be doing it online next month. What are we, March? Yes, next month. Sorry to think about where we were. But these workshops are targeted at these solopreneurs and small business owners, and it gives them really actionable ways to start creating videos just using their phones. So it basically runs through the tech. Most people might pick up a phone and just kind of point it at themselves and kind of start talking and hope for the best. And they just aren't aware of thinking of things like plugging in a microphone or not using the microphone on your phone and making sure you have good lighting, which doesn't have to cost you anything. Having good lighting can be completely free. And little things like how to trim the beginning and end of your videos so you don't have that sad face where you're like, oh, relax after you finished your speech, and then you press record off. You don't want to keep that on there. No one wants to see that. So just little things to tidy up your video. So really basic but valuable stuff. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to be transferring those workshops that I've been running in Wellington, because they're about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on where I run it, into an online 5-day challenge. So in 5 days, you're going to learn how to create professional looking video content using just your phone. And so I'm going to be doing that online.
Do you now when you do these workshops? See, I don't know if I even talked about this with you the last time, but I do workshops too here, and
Yeah.
I'm very big on hands-on when it comes to mobile video, because
Absolutely.
a lot of people who are wanting to do this, they have no professional. Some do, but some don't. This is for everybody. Everybody's got a phone. So in order to really open up the opportunity for everybody, you have to accept the facts that not everyone knows the lingo. Not everyone knows what panning means. They're like going into the kitchen to grab a pan when it really just means the way that you're going, moving your camera, and things like that. And so to put, some of them have never even held a microphone before. And, now when you go online to top everything off, right, you go online and you go, microphone for my smartphone. Put your brand in there. You get an Amazon and I'm just talking about American companies, Best Buy, Guitar Center, Guitar Center, all these companies, Walmart, that sell these items, and you're like, whoa, I didn't know there were that many. What do I do? Which one's best for me? And how do I use them? How do I plug this in? And things like that. So in doing that in a live workshop, I just really think it's great. So if you're able to instruct from a live workshop into an online tutorial, it's the next best thing, at least, because they're actually watching people interact with the equipment in the same way they would, right?
Yes, yeah. So basically, everything I do is always practical, because I think people learn best by actually doing, not just listening to me talk about it and then trying to remember that when they go home. And so even in an online way, it's going to be super actionable. And I'm actually going to be going live for a lot of the content each day. Every day I'm going to be going live for 5 days to help get people taking action, to help them if they're struggling because they don't know a lingo or, aren't really sure about how to plug something into their phone or whatever. And so people are going to be working along with me online. It's going to be quite fun to, learn how to create videos, but really easily.
So what platform are you going to be using for the live tutorial or instructions?
So people can basically engage with me and get my help to get through all the content every day. I'm actually creating a Facebook group and going live within that Facebook group. So it's going to be a community of people all coming together and helping each other, supporting each other as you all learn how to create high quality videos just using your phone.
That's amazing. So it's going to be like a private group. So that's what people
Yeah.
are. Great.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, actually, for anybody to use.
Yeah.
So you said it's going to be 5 days.
Yeah. So it's going to be 5 days long. So each day will have a different task, all building on each other. So at the end of the 5 days, you're actually going to record an awesome video that then you can use later in your business.
So you have people, you're showing them an aspect, and then they go and they practice for a day, and then they come back, or is this a consecutive 5 days consecutively, or
5 days consecutively? So every day there'll be like a task that takes 20 minutes, 5 minutes to read the email, 15 minutes to do the task. So it's, nice and bite-sized so people can fit it into their day. And then they just post their progress inside the Facebook group to show that, that they're actually doing what they're, basically being accountable for what they're doing and learning. And then, so it happens every single day for 5 days. And at the end of 5 days, they will have like a nice little video of them talking to camera or something of the like that they can then use in their business.
Cool. And if they don't do their homework, do you hit them with a ruler or something? Or
I shouldn't I? It's very corporal punishment, isn't it? through the virtual ruler.
You come out with this virtual reality ruler.
Yeah.
So what are the things that they can expect to learn there? Do you go through sound, light,
Yep. So
budgets,
absolutely. Budgets, not so much, but everything I always teach at the outset, like the first thing I teach people is to use what you have. So using your smartphone, obviously, but without even using, you don't have to go and buy lights. You don't have to go and buy a microphone. So I'm going to be teaching them how to use what they have within their own house or perhaps outside their house if they live near a park or a forest or a lake or whatever it is. And so we're going to be talking about sound. We're talking about lighting. We're going to be talking about how to steady the camera so that you can talk to it without having to worry, my hand's really shaking, I'm kind of freaking out and I get shaky hands, and how your camera picks up every tiny movement.
Oh, yeah.
Also about how to appear on camera, so how to get over that fear of not wanting to be seen on video.
Yeah, because that's a big thing now where, like for me, when you're dealing with clients, you ideally want them, in video production. You're not going in front of the camera.
Yes.
To make a video for your client. But now that the client is the producer, right? They're naturally going to need to get in front of the camera, and that's a little bit more challenging for them.
Yeah, and it's the most important part about appearing on camera as a solopreneur, business owner, or the front of your business is that it gives a human element so people can basically connect and build a relationship with you, because they don't actually buy products or services just because it's available or because it's the right price. People generally buy because they're buying into the values of the person behind the product, or the values of the product itself, or the values of the company. And so you've got to develop that trust. And by having that human element, we all want human connection. We all want to, connect with other people like we're connecting. You found me online, and we enjoy connecting together virtually. But it's all about connection, and having your face on camera will help you better connect with your customers.
Yeah, it's just a little different when someone else is handling the technicality of the camera work,
Yeah.
Because then they're just telling you, just sit there and look pretty.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
yeah.
that's
but it's
fine.
Still nerve-wracking. I think it's probably more nerve-wracking trying to sit in front of a big DSLR or a big, film camera to,
Definitely.
Do a professional shoot than it is just sitting in front of your smartphone.
Speaking of DSLRs, I wanted to bring up something with you because, you do experiments between DSLRs and smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I argue with people, because I get to, I know a lot of professionals, right? And I'm telling them, use your phone. And they're like, why should I? I have a DSLR. And I'm going, well, what you have a DSLR. How old is it? It's like 5 years old. I want to get a new one. And I'm like, see, that's my point. It's like, you're going to go get a new DSLR. That's another $500 to $1,000, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not saying that DSLRs are, well, I've heard that the iPhone X, now I know you have one, right?
I do.
I don't have that. But I've heard that you do. You just now admitted it.
Yep.
So I'm sure you've run those tests between those two. My point with the DSLR is that, yes, they can, you know, they have bigger lenses and sensors and so forth, and they, you know, you can shoot something more cinematic and so forth, and the quality of the video can be better if you know what you're doing, obviously.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, for you and me, for most people, right? You buy a DSLR or you buy a phone because of your budget, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you buy either or. Most people are not. I mean, it just sounds like a lot to say get a phone and a DSLR, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, you can shoot photos and great photos and videos. I would say, you know, going back to the video part, yes, you can shoot great videos with DSLRs, but you can also shoot great videos with the phone. But when you start to compare the two, not just about sensors and things like that, it's like, can you still call? You have to make that choice, one or the other. So, as most people that I know with a DSLR also have a phone because they need to make calls, they need to check their email while they're out, you know, they like the apps, they go on social media, you know, all the reasons why we use a phone, but they also use, you know, their DSLRs. But what can you do if you're going to get the DSLR and you have to make that choice? Well, then you can't get a phone, you know, because, you know, I mean, you're going to make a call with your camera. You can't do that. You can't check your email. You can't use social media with it. So, I mean, that's my argument with them, because when it comes down to it, I really do understand from a professional standpoint that the DSLR is a better camera. But what I'm saying is, like, basically, you're going to get a really good camera, maybe not as good as a DSLR, but you're going to get a really good camera with a phone, right? And so I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
Well, I guess there's kind of two things I want to touch on. And one of the most important things is it actually, in my opinion, doesn't matter what camera you're using if you don't know how to create the right kind of video that works for your business or how to tell a story. So it could look really pretty, but if it doesn't engage like on a DSLR, it could look really pretty. If it doesn't engage your audience, or it doesn't, you know, reach your customers or get you sales, or whatever the purpose of the video is, it doesn't matter how pretty it looks. You've wasted your time and your money. So it's actually more important to know, you know, the crux of what makes a good video, rather than, well, which camera is better. That's my first thing. Right. But the second thing is that phones are so much faster at making videos, because I did a video test, you may have seen it, DSLR versus smartphone. I did a 30-second video shot on both the DSLR and then it was my iPhone 6S. And the 30-second video took me, memory, I think it was like 15 minutes to make on my phone, filming and editing. And it took me almost half an hour to do it on my DSLR and editing on a computer, because, you know, you have to set up this bigger camera and you might need a bigger tripod to hold the bigger camera. And then you've got to get the videos off your camera and onto your computer, and then you've got to edit them and then you export them. But whereas in the phone, it's just really, you need quite a simple setup. Pop your microphone in, record your video, and then you can sit exactly where you filmed it and start editing on your phone, and it's just so much quicker.
Yeah, even if you take it from a phone and put it on the computer and do the editing there's the compression thing where the DSLRs, you have to compress it and you have to kind of play around with that to get it good online. So we're talking about, you know, does it look good? Yeah, it might look great on your computer. Now get that to look good online, when on the phone, most likely, even if the quality is not that good, it's still going to look a lot better when you're streaming it online.
Yeah, and to be honest, if you're a solopreneur and you're making videos, do you want to spend, hours making one kind of video, or, cut the time in half and make it on your phone is my biggest thing, because I cannot make a video as fast on my DSLR as I can on my phone.
Oh yeah, no, and there's the lenses you have to change. Where here's the other thing. Also, is there are a lot of settings on DSLRs, and I know that you can get
Yeah.
apps that have a lot of settings too. But for a basic video, corporate video or whatever, you're not really going for filters and things like
No,
that.
no.
You're just trying to make some simple video for your product or your company or your brand. Basically, you're trying to brand yourself, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, so those kinds of things, like just to do that with a DSLR, you still need to do color balancing. White balancing, and things like that. Where with the camera, it's pretty instant. Very
Yes.
what I call consumer friendly.
And even if you're doing it with a third-party app, like something like Filmic Pro, and not the app that came with your phone, it's still quite quick to make those changes or make those settings work for you when you're doing a video. It's much quicker, I find.
Yeah, I know that with professional cameras, if you don't do the white balancing,
Ugh.
depending on the light, especially if you're in an office,
with fluorescent.
everything just comes out blue and dreary.
Yeah.
Try and sell your food like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just something I just kind of wanted to go through with you, because I it's a very common argument
Yes.
with people, and I understand, because we do love the equipment. We do like,
Yeah.
it's like, well, do I need a Honda or a Lamborghini? It's like,
Yeah.
really, just go get a Yugo. I don't know. It's just go get anything that'll get you from point A to point B, and you'll get there safely, and it works,
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's kind of like the point when it comes to being efficient, and
Yes.
especially if you know what your goal is, once you know and you're focused and you trim your wants and your needs and your wishes and everything as a company,
Yeah.
it comes out a lot better. Just like shortening videos, not making them too long. I wanted to know if you teach things like that in your workshop too, how to not get carried away with these long, showing people how to present their products and their services and their business in front of a camera.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I kind of teach a structure that I like to call the 5 key elements, which is just a way to structure your video that keeps it nice and short, concise, to the point, whilst also keeping people engaged. And so it's like a matter of basically the key elements are to hook them in, introduce yourself or your product after you've hooked them in, then give them a reason to stay to the end, some bite-sized content, some valuable content that gives them, some kind of action that they can take, and then that call to action to actually take it to the next step. And each of these, I restrict people to 1 to 2 sentences, except for the bite-sized content where it's maybe 3 to 5 points, depending on what kind of video it is. But it seems to keep people quite concise. It's a good way of doing it.
Do you also teach? I'm big on B-roll. And,
oh, yeah.
And, I know that it's more like for a promotional video and things like that. But I think in the end, that's also captivates people to use some music and some B-roll and things like that. Do you teach that too?
Yeah, so in my courses, in my 2-day kind of course that I do here in Wellington, or my online course as well, we go through editing a video with me, and we add things like B-roll, text, music, because sound is really key. If you have the right kind of music, it can just invoke an emotion or a response from your audience that having no music just can't do. And even just adding B-roll, like you might be on camera, but just adding a few clips over top of that to just emphasize what you're talking about, and also make it more interesting, because it could get kind of boring watching one person talk for 2 minutes, perhaps. Depends on how captivating they are.
It can get boring after 15 seconds.
Yeah. I was trying to be nice. So yeah, no, I absolutely teach that in everything I do, how to basically cover up either mistakes or just give people more engaging content using B-roll and music and titles and all sorts of things, actually.
Yeah,
Everything you can think of is in my online course in terms of the editing. If
that's
you have a question,
awesome.
I guarantee it's in there.
Good. So let's pretend. Let's
Okay.
pretend that I'm looking at I'm considering this, because
Mm-hmm.
I've got a business I've been wanting to, or maybe I have, two people in my business that work with me,
Mm-hmm.
and we're sort of handing each other off this obligation of coming out, because videos are a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
They're the in way if you want to succeed in business nowadays with social media. And you got to do social media. Video
Mm-hmm.
is one of the most important things. And so let's say that I'm going, okay, fine, our videos suck, pretty much. They're horrible. Nobody's
Mm-hmm.
watching them. I mean, we are professionals, but we look like fools when we do our videos. My
Yep.
7-year-old could do better. That kind of a thing.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm listeners. I know that you're not doing that bad. Okay, I'm just putting the worst case scenario forward, right? So
Yep.
here I come and I say, Get Ahead Media. I just found you online, so I'm gonna call Francesca or I'm gonna send her an email, whatever, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, sell me what you can teach me.
Way to put you on the spot. Hey, prepare this copy beforehand. I can get you making videos quickly and easily that actually engage and speak directly to your audience, just using your phone to film and edit it. Is that a nice, succinct way to sell you?
Yeah, that's like your elevator pitch, huh?
Yeah, I think that was. I kind of came up with that on the spot.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, and that's an attestment to your skills that you can
No,
teach.
thank you. Thank you.
So that's great. So then all I need to do now, right, is I go to
Mm-hmm.
your website, and what
Mm-hmm.
do I do to sign up?
So currently with the
Well,
online
first
course,
of all, what is it?
what?
What is the URL?
Yeah, what is the URL? If you
Kind of
go
basic.
to my website, which is hopefully simple enough for everyone to remember, which is getaheadmedia.com. That's my website. If you jump on there, there is a little link to online course, and that will take you to either the wait list or the actual course enrollment page. Because when the course isn't open for enrollment, there's a wait list link there. But when it's open for enrollment, it takes you straight to where you can actually enroll into the course. So if you come up against the waitlist page, you just sign up and you'll be the first to know when it opens. And if you happen to click when it's open, then it'll take you right there.
Cool. And then once
Mm-hmm.
it takes you there, you go through the whole process, and then you're taking. It'll have a link or a way for you to go to the Facebook group.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Great. Now,
Yep.
what about? I hate to put you on the spot for this.
No, I love it. Yeah.
No, I mean seriously now. So,
Oh, no.
okay, so there's a lot of um, there's a lot of bad news with Facebook right now.
Okay. Yeah, I know where you're going.
Yeah. So let's say somebody's going, there's no way I'm going on Facebook. Do
Yeah.
you have an option for that?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. If you don't want to, oh, you mean go on Facebook to join the group? No, I
Yeah.
don't have an option for that. Well, actually, I do, because you still get the emails for the every daily task. You do get emails of what you need to do, and then at the end of the 5 days, every single live video is put onto one landing page, so you don't even have to go to Facebook, and you can watch every single one of the videos there as well.
Okay.
So there is an option. There you go.
Good. Yeah, because I'm noticing that some people, I mean, none of my friends have deleted. I looked at the number of friends that I have. I'm like, they're still all there. So I don't think any of mine have deleted their accounts. But I know that in the news right now, there's this whole thing about I'm not going to.
Yeah, me either.
I've always
I've
always known that everything. I mean, if you're putting stuff on Facebook, that you know, it's going all over the place, whether you like it or not. That's always been the case, and that's not just for Facebook. That's pretty much everywhere. So be kind.
Yeah.
Be kind
Yeah.
to people. Be kind to yourselves by being kind to others.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I didn't mean to put you on the spot on that, but I was just trying to give, some listeners who may be going, well, I'm not doing the Facebook thing. I'm just going to turn off this podcast right now.
Yeah. No, good. It was good question. And I'm glad I had an answer.
Yeah, me too, because, there should be an option for that. I'm thinking about things like that myself, you
Yep.
know, for our film festival as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, just because we have the event there and things like that, and I'm thinking, well, look, you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, when it comes to sharing what you do, people can pretty much get to you from different channels, and that's a smart thing to do as a business, to not spread yourself thin, basically.
Yes, absolutely.
So there are ways to get a hold of you outside of Facebook, and the main
Absolutely, yeah.
way, for anybody is to go to the website, and then from there you can hook up
Yep,
through
absolutely, yeah.
all the different social media. So there's bound to be at least one that you'll you can reach out to
Yeah.
Francesca on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, website. Is that about it?
Yeah,
That might be about
right.
it.
Do you have a Pinterest account?
I don't. Well, I do have one, like a personal one, but I don't actually do anything with it. I usually just look up like tattoos or something, tattoo designs.
Yeah, I have one too, but I forget. It's like that last one. It's like, oh yeah, the Pinterest.
Yeah.
You
Some
know.
people do really well in that, but I'm just not into it, and therefore I don't spend any time
Well, I
figuring it
actually
out.
have on Pinterest. What I find is, I mean, you could do videos on there too. You can
Oh
share
yeah, you
videos.
can. Yeah. Yeah.
But I have like these boards for each film festival.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so in each board I have, I try to put the logos for the sponsors on there with their websites and things like
Mhm.
that. Photos, of course, just kind of publicizing the event, and then even beforehand, and then some videos, not the filmmakers' videos. I do respect them, and I don't do things like that with their videos. But
Mm.
I do have the videos of the trailer and things like that.
Yes.
By the way,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you something really quick here.
Yeah.
Um, the video, did you get to see? Oh, yeah, yeah, you did, because you retweeted that. Thank you. You
I
shared
did.
it.
You're welcome.
That trailer, so there's this thing that you can do on GarageBand. I made that
Mhm.
music. I like to make my own music for everything.
Nice.
So one of the things, there's two ways to edit a video with music, right?
Mhm. Yep.
One way is to cut to the music, basically.
Yep.
And the other way, which is the one that I did, was I finished the video. I edited the video. I sound really
Mhm.
weird when I said edited.
Yeah.
Um, and then I brought that into GarageBand.
Yep.
And then I created the music around the video.
Yeah, that's cool. Well done, you.
Yeah. Well, oh, thank you. So by doing that, I'm just trying to give a little bit of a hint to people that it's one of the reasons why I like Apple,
Mhm.
because it does have the iMovie and the GarageBand. And if you use music, a lot of people don't know, if you use music from GarageBand for your music, or even the
Mhm.
little tunes that come with iMovie,
Mhm.
they're automatically royalty free. You don't have to
Yes.
worry about that. A lot of people don't know that,
Yeah.
and they spend a lot of time waiting to get their videos out, because they're out there hitting all the websites looking for, and it's a lot to soak up, about what and of course there's that thing where if it's driving your video, or if it's just in the background, or if
Yep.
it's being used as a transition, those are different licenses that you need, and people don't realize that.
Yeah.
So that's just something that I wanted to bring up to people who are listening to this, because like I like to share and help people as well.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, kind of, I know you have a busy day ahead
Yep.
of you, even though it's the evening, but you've
Oh yeah,
had
I'm
a
still busy.
crazy, yeah, like me, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of go through just some things that, how to get a hold of you, website link again, and things like that. And also for you to share, because on our Patreon page, we have this bonus uh, podcast that we do that we're going to do here with Francesca, where she's
Hmm.
going to instruct you in something really cool. But I want you first to go ahead and share your contact information, where people can find you.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that after listening to you in this podcast, I don't think people need to hear from me. Go do this with Francesca. I think you pretty much have done pretty good on your own on that.
Well,
But
thank you.
but yeah, if you need my recommendation, go learn from Francesca.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Go for it. Share all your contacts.
Yeah, so like I said before, getaheadmedia.com is my website, and you can find a link to all my social media accounts on that website, as well as a link to some free resources to get you set up, and my online course and 5-day challenge. But if you are on Facebook, just search for me on Get Ahead Media. Same with Instagram and Twitter. I'm all the same across all the channels, so hopefully I'm easily to find.
Very awesome. We will also include all the links to
Yes.
get a hold of her on the notes. Some people just don't even care about the notes, but they are there.
Yes.
Just in
Go
case.
check it out if you need to click on that link instead of
Right.
remembering what I just said.
And why don't you share with our listeners now before we go away, so they can move on to Patreon. What
Hmm.
and by the way, it's Patreon, patreon.com/SBP podcast. S as in Susie, B as in Botello, podcast. P. Okay. So to go there, and what are they going to learn from you?
So they're going to learn how to create a successful tutorial or how-to video.
Nice. So there you go,
Yeah.
guys. So go there and listen. Well, you have to be a patron, so go subscribe and listen to this. And also, Francesca, I hate to put you on the spot again, but
Again.
yeah, why don't you come to San Diego next month and join us in our film festival?
Next month. What's next month? April. When is it again? What's the date?
It's April 28th and 20. It's the last weekend of April. We've got
April.
Tim Russ from Star Trek
Okay.
Voyager is coming
Yeah.
on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we have Star Wars Steampunk, do the cosplay. We have the red
Okay.
carpet. It's going to be a lot of fun. And there's people that are going to be there that I think you may already know some of them, but you may not have met them in person.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I will see. We'll see what flights are available here from little old New Zealand.
Yeah, I would love to have you, and I will personally introduce you to everyone.
Aw.
Yeah, and then you bring your cards or postcards or whatever you want. We'll set them up there for you.
Oh, wicked.
For
Okay.
everybody. Okay.
Well, I will look into it. Absolutely.
And I've said this publicly so
Yeah.
that you can hold me to it.
Yep. Awesome.
Awesome. All right. Well, hey, listeners, I think this was a great podcast. I hope you thought so as well. And for those of you who are going to come to the great, wonderful International Mobile Film Festival in San Diego, April 28th and 29th. Maybe you'll get to meet Francesca there as well. See, you can hear her shuffling already. She's looking at her calendar.
I am.
And if not, and you're in New Zealand or you're visiting, for a week or something, and you want to meet with her, and learn hands-on, go to her workshop, but go to getaheadmedia.com and check everything out. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Awesome. Thanks, guys.